Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of English with Altaf. Today, John and I are diving into a really practical topic: how to talk about your country in English. This is something learners often struggle with because they don't know what details to include or how to make it sound natural.
Exactly, Annie. When someone asks, "Where are you from?" or "Tell me about your country," many learners freeze. They either give very short answers like, "I'm from Pakistan," or "I'm from Brazil," or they go blank. But in English conversations, people usually expect a little more detail.
Right. And the good news is that you don't need complicated vocabulary. You just need to organize your ideas. Think of it like telling a short story about your country. You can talk about location, population, culture, food, traditions, famous places, and even how you feel about living there.
Let's start with location. If someone asks about your country, you can say something like, "My country is in South Asia between India and Afghanistan," or "My country is in South America near Argentina and Chile." That gives the listener a clear picture.
Yes, and you can add size or population. For example, it's a large country with more than 200 million people. Or, it's a small island with about 5 million people. These simple sentences make your answer richer.
Another thing is geography. You can mention mountains, rivers, beaches, deserts. For example, "My country has beautiful mountains in the north and a long coastline in the south." Or, "We have a big desert that covers most of the land."
Exactly. And then culture. People love hearing about traditions. You can say, "We celebrate New Year with fireworks and family dinners." Or, "Our traditional dress is colorful and worn during festivals."
Food is always a fun topic. If you want to make your answer interesting, talk about what people eat. For example, "In my country, people love spicy food like biryani and kebabs." Or, "We eat a lot of seafood because we live near the ocean."
Yes, food always connects people. And don't forget famous places. You can say, "We have a famous mosque in the capital city." Or, "Tourists love visiting our national park."
Let's give learners a simple structure. If someone asks about your country, you can answer in this order: location, population, geography, culture, food, famous places, personal feelings.
That's perfect. And let's show how it sounds in a natural conversation.
Sure, imagine someone asks me, "Where are you from?" I can say, "I'm from Canada. It's in North America, above the United States. It's a huge country with about 40 million people. We have beautiful forests, lakes, and snowy mountains. People love outdoor activities like skiing and hiking. Our traditional food includes poutine, which is fries with cheese and gravy. Tourists often visit Niagara Falls. I love living there because it's peaceful and multicultural."
That's a great example. It's short but full of details. Now let me try with Pakistan. I'm from Pakistan. It's in South Asia, next to India, China, and Afghanistan. It's a big country with more than 240 million people. We have mountains in the north, deserts in the south, and fertile plains in the middle. Our culture is very traditional, with colorful clothes and lively festivals. People enjoy spicy food like biryani, chapli kebabs, and samosas. Tourists visit Lahore Fort and the Karakoram Mountains. I feel proud because my country has a rich history and warm hospitality.
That's excellent. Notice how both answers follow the same pattern.
Yes, and learners can practice with their own country. They don't need to memorize long speeches, just prepare a few sentences for each category.
Let's give them some useful phrases they can use.
Good idea. Here are some simple starters. My country is located in. It has a population of. We are famous for. Our traditional food is. Tourists usually visit. I feel proud because.
Exactly, and learners can mix these phrases with their own details.
Another tip is to compare. You can say, "My country is smaller than India but larger than Nepal." Or, "Our food is spicier than European food." Comparisons make your description more vivid.
Yes, and you can also talk about language. For example, the official language is Spanish, but many people also speak English. Or, we have several local languages spoken in different regions.
That's important because language is part of identity.
Now, Annie, let's role play a longer conversation like we're in a podcast and someone asks us about our countries.
Sure, let's do it.
So, Annie, where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan. It's in South Asia, near India and Afghanistan. It's a large country with more than 240 million people. We have amazing geography. Snowy mountains in the north, deserts in the south, and fertile plains in the middle. Our culture is very diverse, with traditional clothes, music, and festivals. People love spicy food like biryani and kebabs. Tourists often visit Lahore, Karachi, and the northern mountains. I feel proud because Pakistan has a long history and very friendly people.
That sounds wonderful. I'm from Canada. It's in North America, above the United States. It's a huge country with forests, lakes, and mountains. We have about 40 million people, and most live near the southern border. Our culture is multicultural, with influences from Europe, Asia, and indigenous traditions. People enjoy outdoor sports like skiing and camping. Our food includes poutine and maple syrup dishes. Tourists love Niagara Falls and Banff National Park. I feel proud because Canada is peaceful and welcoming.
See, that's how learners can structure their answers. It's not too long, but it gives a clear picture.
Exactly. And if you want to make it longer, you can add history. For example, my country became independent in 1947. Or, we have a history of indigenous peoples who lived here for thousands of years.
Yes, history adds depth. But remember, you don't need to tell everything. Just choose the points that interest you.
Another tip is to practice with friends. Ask each other, tell me about your country, then give answers using the structure.
That's a great exercise. And you can also record yourself speaking. Listen back and check if your sentences are clear.
Exactly. And don't worry about mistakes. People will understand you even if your grammar isn't perfect.
Yes, confidence is more important than perfection.
Let's give learners a few more examples from different countries so they can see variety.
Okay, for Japan. I'm from Japan. It's in East Asia, near China and Korea. It has about 125 million people. We have mountains, islands, and a lot of forests. Our culture includes traditional tea ceremonies, kimonos, and anime. People eat sushi, ramen, and tempura. Tourists visit Tokyo, Kyoto, and Mount Fuji. I feel proud because Japan is modern but also respects tradition.
For Egypt, I'm from Egypt. It's in North Africa near the Mediterranean Sea. It has about 110 million people. We have the Nile River and deserts. Our culture is ancient with pyramids and pharaohs. People eat dishes like koshari and falafel. Tourists visit the pyramids of Giza and the Nile. I feel proud because Egypt has one of the oldest civilizations in the world.
For Brazil. I'm from Brazil. It's in South America near Argentina and Peru. It has more than 200 million people. We have the Amazon rainforest and long beaches. Our culture is lively, with samba music and carnival festivals. People eat feijoada and barbecue. Tourists visit Rio de Janeiro and the Amazon. I feel proud because Brazil is full of energy and natural beauty.
These examples show that no matter where you're from, you can use the same structure.